To begin the day, we will have a special address by Mr. Michael DiRienzo, who is the President and CEO of the Silver Institute. He has come all the way from the US to deliver this special address. Specifically, how do we expand and explore the opportunity of growing the market for silver in Asia? Over to Mr. Michael DiRienzo to deliver his special address. Please welcome him with a round of applause.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for the introduction, Fatsa, and thank you to the organizers, the SBMA, and to all of our member companies that are in the room and at the conference. We appreciate your support, of course. My presentation is on unlocking the potential, developing the Asia silver market, and I think over the course of the last 2 years, the Institute and its members have taken baby steps into this market, but we want to enter full force. We have programs in India and China and Mexico and Peru, but we want to formalize an arrangement here in the Asia-Pacific region, and I have a few ideas on how we can kick that off. So, in an era of rapid technological transformation, the green energy revolution, and evolving financial systems, silver is stepping back into the spotlight, not just as a precious metal, but as a strategic asset. And nowhere is its potential more pronounced than in Asia-Pacific's dynamic, diverse, and rapidly growing economies. So let's begin with some context. The global silver market is undergoing a renaissance as I speak. In 2024, global silver demand surpassed 1.1 billion ounces, with industrial demand accounting for over 55% of demand and posting a new record high. As we know, these key drivers that are making this happen are solar photovoltaics, electronics, the 5G infrastructure, electric vehicles, AI, and data centers, not to mention antimicrobial applications. Yet, despite this robust demand, supply growth has been modest. Mine production is recovering post-pandemic, but not enough to match demand trajectories, which last year we concluded the 5th year of a silver deficit, and this year we project another deficit where demand outstrips supply. Asia-Pacific is home to over 60% of the world's population and some of the fastest growing economies. It plays a dual role in the global silver narrative. It is both a voracious consumer and a major processing center. Countries like India, Singapore, China, Japan, Australia, Hong Kong, South Korea, and other emerging Southeast Asian economies are pivotal in industrial consumption and investment demand. Let's look at some of the current market gaps and opportunities. Industrial demand, as I mentioned earlier, is growing rapidly. Silver's unmatched electrical conductivity makes it a critical input in clean energy, especially in solar and in the electrification of everything. The APAC region accounted for over 70% of global solar installations last year and is investing a lot of money into this technology. This alone creates enormous and sustained silver demand. The Asia silver financial markets. Global silver trading is still anchored in London, New York, and Zurich. Indian silver future contracts have yet to attain large-scale penetration, yet that day is soon coming, considering it is one of the world's largest silver consumers. China has silver contracts on the Shanghai Futures Exchange, but is limited in its international access and usage. So, to unlock silver's potential, we should focus on 4 strategic pillars. Build transparent and liquid silver exchanges. Asia needs its one sole, robust liquid silver trading platforms. This means expanding silver contracts on established commodity exchanges in Singapore, Hong Kong, India, and others. Enhancing physical delivery options and warehouse infrastructure, and promoting cross-border trading with standardized contracts. A regional benchmark price, perhaps an Asia-Pacific silver index, would reduce dependency on Western price discovery mechanisms. Silver ETFs, digital tokens, and bullion-backed savings programs can help mobilize investor interest, and we know these are underway in this region. While not backed by physical gold, India's sovereign gold program could be replicated for silver. Likewise, regional fintech firms could offer additional fractional silver ownership via digital wallets. Now, this serves dual purposes: it democratizing access and deepening retail investment for silver. Another aspect we could take a look at is strengthening the regulatory and customs frameworks, harmonize import duties and purity standards, develop mutual recognition in agreements among ASEAN, South Asia, and East Asia, introduce silver-specific provisions into regional trade agreements like RCEP. These steps can significantly lower transaction frictions. Foster regional cooperation and knowledge sharing. Perhaps we should establish an Asia-Pacific Silver Council. And that's what I was referring to earlier, working with the SBA and SBMA and others to focus solely on silver in addition to all the other metals that they're focused on. Providing a sophisticated platform for governments, miners, refiners, and investors to align interests and collaborate on policy, sustainability, and market development. Such a body can also advocate for silver's role in energy transition goals and provide unified data to global markets. If you take these three case study examples, what can we learn? China has developed an advanced silver manufacturing supply chain in Asia, yet much of its output is consumed domestically. Expanding this model to neighboring economies can create regional value chains. With its transparent regulatory regime and tax-neutral bullion environment, Singapore has become a rising hub for gold. With similar steps, it can also emerge as a major silver trading center. And India is the largest jewelry and silverware manufacturer globally. Harmonized hallmarking can also be introduced in India to improve average purities and support silver demand. And their investment products are expanding rapidly to individual investors. Mobilizing this latent demand could transform regional liquidity. Finally, we must remember developing the silver market is not just about economics. It's also about sustainability. Silver is a critical mineral for net zero goals. Its use in solar panels, EVs, and water purification directly contributes to the UN Sustainability Development Goals. On the front lines of climate vulnerability, Asia Pacific has a strategic imperative to lead here, and I know you already are. We must ensure that mining and refining processes meet the highest ESG standards. Traceability, transparency, and fair labor practices ensures that silver is not only a valuable metal, but also a responsible one. So to conclude, ladies and gentlemen, given the rising gold and silver prices, there is an opportunity to develop further the silver investment market in East Asia, particularly Thailand and Indonesia. The Asia-Pacific region is at an inflection point. The area has the population, the demand, the innovation, and the capital. But to realize the full potential of the silver market, we need coordination, vision, and investment. So let's build the foundations of a market that serves this region and the world, a market that fuels sustainable growth, empowers our industries, and gives the people of the Asia-Pacific region access to reliable stores of value, such as silver. Silver has long been overshadowed by its golden cousin, but many consider it to be the metal of the future, and Asia-Pacific its most important champion. So the Silver Institute stands with the Singapore Bullion Market Association and our colleagues in Asia-Pacific in any capacity to build a stronger silver market, thereby strengthening the global silver market. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Michael. And it was really a very powerful speech to start the day, day 3. Any reflections from the floor at this point in time on any of the points which Mr. Michael has alluded to?
Thank you, Michael. Good morning.
Hi, Albert.
I think you have laid out your vision and the Silver Institute thinking of how to develop the Asia-Pacific market, and you also name our organization. I think we can continue to have this dialogue and see how this can be built. But from your side, what kind of resources that you can lay out for this initiative?
Well, it's a great question, and of course we would budget that for year 2026 and use some of our, loose change that we have in the budget today to help that process along. But we think it's important. We have programs in Mexico and Peru. Those are mostly consumer market development programs, focusing on jewelry. I mean, if you look at Peru and you look at Mexico, Mexico is the world's largest silver producer. Peru's in the top 5, number 2 or 3, I believe. They don't consume a lot in the silver jewelry market, so we have small programs there. For over 24 years, we've had a program in China, the China Market Development Program, where we put on an annual conference in association with our colleagues in China. It's been very well received. I'm going back this year for the first year since COVID. I've been delivering speeches via video, but this year we're going, and immediately after we're going to the LBMA. And we just concluded the 3rd year of our India Market Development Program by hosting a conference. This year it was in Udaipur. We've done Goa and Jaipur. But at that conference, we've had a similar discussion with some of the Indian silver market participants about coming up with a unique and sole entity that focuses on silver and bringing together the various associations in that market, which is huge, as you know, together to create greater silver demand in that particular country. And we think we can do the same thing here in the Asia-Pacific region with your help.
Certainly. I think you laid out a grand vision for the silver market in Asia, and the thing that you just named out is quite a few of them. It could be a multi-year project. But I think, as you just said, that if you are able to concentrate or focus on one key initiative, that we can start from there. And then from there, we can build on to many other things.
Very good, and that's our intention. Thank you, Albert.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions?
You mentioned that how Mexico is the largest silver producer in the world. And, for example, Fresnillo, which is the largest silver producer, at least publicly traded in the world, is their equity price tripled over the last 12 months, their market capitalization. For example, I guess proposal I've always contemplated is how to bring more awareness in other equity markets on Fresnillo or a company such as that's producing so much silver, a worldwide leader. The volume of those shares are not heavily traded in U.S. markets. They're profitable, and just I think it's an overlooked story from an academic standpoint, as well as a potential investment standpoint. It's just something where the companies are tightly held and they don't want the story to get out to the world, or is it a situation where we could potentially help tell this story and demonstrate what kind of transformative companies these are in Mexico that are producing? I'm a researcher in the mining industry. I spent significant time in Mexico going to these sites, and I could say that they are leading the world in certain cases in metallurgical and geological practices.
Right. Well, it is obviously the largest primary silver producer in the world. Its chairman, Octavio Alvidrez, is also the chairman of the Silver Institute. And what we're doing is we're working with some outside partners to really focus on institutional investment into the silver space. So we're identifying those institutional investors and those firms, and later this year we'll be making presentations to them. But it's not just Fresnillo. All of our member companies are in a very strong position, including our streaming companies like Wheaton Precious Metals. So we have a good story to tell. If you look at our mining companies, we represent over 87% of annual mine supply. Some of the others just wouldn't join the Silver Institute because they don't consider themselves silver producers. A company like Codelco or BHP or Newmont, for example, they're all top 10, but they have not joined the Institute after repeated efforts to get them into the fold. So it's a great question. I've been to that Fresnillo mine many times. It's spectacular, and it's a company to keep your eye on.
Thank you, Mr. Michael. Thank you. A round of applause for Mr. Michael.
Thank you.
For a wonderful sound. Thank you, sir.